Hello, everyone. I am Demetra Kaye. I hope that you are having a great day. Thank you for joining me here on the African Diaspora News channel, where you can find me Tuesday through Thursday, 11 a.m. Central Time. Again, Tuesday through Thursday, 11 a.m. Central Time. And of course, you can find me on my very own channel on the Demetra Kaye Show on YouTube and Facebook from Sunday through Tuesday, 5 p.m. Central Time. Again, Sunday through Tuesday, 5 p.m. Central Time. So today we're going to be talking about an activist, and you do not want to miss this. I promise you, slamming Black folks in Senatobia, Mississippi, for allowing Walmart and the police to repeatedly terrorize the community, and I guess maybe just have a shoulder shrug, get upset here and there, but then go back to business as usual. So I promise you, you do not want to miss this, as it is very, I would say, eye-opening, and it's a message for all of us throughout the United States. Brian, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Everyone's going on with you. And Mike, nice, always nice to see you. So let's get into it for the sake of time. Anyway, you guys know there's a lot going on all over the country. But about a week ago at this point, a little 1-year-old baby by the name of Kohen Wiley, life was snatched from him as his mother and her friend were leaving a Walmart. Now, they were accused by employees in Walmart there in Senatobia, Senatobia, I think that's how you say it, Senatobia. I know I jacked it up. I'll figure it out. But Walmart there in Mississippi, as they were leaving, the police were called because they were already in the area. And they were told somebody stole a box of diapers. Now, a lot of other witnesses said that they saw Cohen's mother and her friend, Valencia is her name, skipping out of the store, right? They were jovial. The 1-year-old had his hand and things like that. Well, they then realized that there was an officer whose name seems to be Hunter Foster, decided that he was going to draw his weapon. Now, the mother explained that she held her baby up because she says, I know he saw us get in the car. So she held her baby up to say, hey, there's a baby in the car. But the officer apparently did not care. He shot into the car, taking the life of Cohen and critically injuring the driver, which was the mother's friend. Now, from that point, the officer, as they always do, right, cited that, oh, I was in danger. I was afraid for my life. She tried to run over me with the car, but many witnesses and phone cameras and things that were recording kind of debunks that, per the, I guess, the logistics or whatever it is of how the bullets hit the car. A lot of experts just on a preliminary basis is like, it doesn't look like the car was going toward the officer. It looks like it was going away from the officer. But nevertheless, it sounds like that officer has had some problems in the past, just a sore in the community. And so from that point, and it sounds like they're going to have the baby's funeral this Saturday, which is sad. I watched the whole press conference that I'm about to tell you about. And it is really sad. His mother, Valencia, spoke, and the father, I think his name is Dijon, don't quote me, but he was too moved to speak. So his father actually did the speaking for him. Now, of course, you guys may or may not know that attorney Benjamin Crump is on the case. Now, the local NAACP actually called Benjamin because as the president there of the NAACP said, she said she showed up to work early Monday morning, said nobody was there but a truck. There was just a truck there. So she said she was kind of like, okay, who's here? Because it's very early. So she realized that it was one of the attorneys who was working with the family there. And then Valencia was in the car. Now, mind you, this was a day after the life of her child was taken. And so she said from that point, he was like, yeah, you got to help us. And so she knows Benjamin Crump. So they called him, and that's how Benjamin Crump ended up on the case. So I'm going to show you, though, because this press conference is about an hour or so. Toward the end, this is where it got really, really interesting, right? Of course, they were calling for justice for Kohen Wiley because the police department there to this moment still has not released a body cam. They're kind of dragging their feet because, of course, they're going out with the story that, oh, his life was in danger. And they're like, okay, we'll prove it. prove that his life was in danger, the officer, so that we can all go about our very way. We can say, oh, okay, well, yeah, she tried to run into him. You know, there's nothing really we could do here, but they won't do that. The family's also getting a independent autopsy for the baby because they really want to just make sure they get the full story. Of course, they don't trust the authorities there in Senatobia. I think that's how you say it. So anyway, here's the video of Brother Patric Alexander taking people to task. Here you go.
Go any further, I just want to apologize first and foremost to Baby Kohen.
Yes, sir.
And I'm gonna tell you why I want to apologize to Baby Kohen, and everybody in here owe an apology to Baby Kohen.
Okay.
Because this is not our first rodeo. This is not our first walk around the block with Senatobia Police Department and their pathology, the sickness that they exercise. This is not our first walk. So everybody who have not responded like a human being supposed to respond when we have watched these egregious acts, that weight fall on you. We've been calling you to action. You just ain't came. Now it hit home. Everybody in here, I know all of you pretty much. You had an opportunity to fight, and you walked the other way. That's right. We were telling you. Now what I want to do, I want to bring up some people, attorney, if you don't mind.
Yes, sir.
Mo, come up here. Stand right there.
Now I want y'all to pay attention to this because this is the part that really just did something to me. So just pay attention.
Brishari, where she go? Come up here. I want people to see this.
These are families who lost.
These are families who have been victims, recent victims of Senatobia police violence.
My Lord.
And Mark, come right there.
That's right.
Stand up here. Everybody here, Attorney Crump, know what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
This has been proliferated all over social media. Now we have two little girls. I don't know if they even made it. Anaya. Thank you. I want to talk to you when we get through. Anaya. And who? Did they make it? Alasia and Anaya. And Quintavious here? Tell them to come up here.
Get him up here.
We're not going to be long. We need to do this. Quintavious, where you at? Well, while you're making it up here, we have two little girls.
Yes, sir.
That were beat up right here, right down the street after getting out of school. And after they were beat up by the Senatobia Police Department, they were sent to the Juvenile Detention Center in Kohen, Mississippi. A very horrific experience.
Is it on video?
I want to, yes, sir, all of this is on video. You go back and check it out because we need to establish a pattern.
Exactly.
Yes, sir, a pattern. This is a pattern. A pathology of racism. Every one of these people has suffered recently, and this community know about it. Mark home was invaded, unlawfully invaded, and he was almost killed by the Senatobia Police Department, almost tased to death. Y'all know it. Bear witness to it. He was almost killed in his own home by the Senatobia Police Department, almost tased to death. It wasn't by some miraculous act that the chief was tased himself.
Man.
Mark probably would have had his neck broke. He said the chief told him, I'm finna kill you.
Oh my God.
My Lord.
All right?
My Lord.
He survived that. They tried to send him to Parchment. Quintavious was arrested. 10-year-old Quintavious at the time was arrested for peeing outside. Arrested.
Wow.
Right here.
10 years
10
old.
years old, right here.
My Lord.
Brashari just last year, on Mother's Day, parked temporarily in a handicapped parking spot waiting her mother, who we all love in this community, Miss Faulkner.
Yes.
And she was drug out of her car in the presence of these children that she holding and beat on the ground.
My Lord.
On Walmart parking lot for a parking violation or parking in a
Walmart,
handicap.
the same Walmart?
The same Walmart, that's where I'm trying to go. The same Walmart where Quintavious, no, I'm talking about Quintavious.
Take your time.
Kohen caught a state-sponsored bullet. A state-sponsored bullet.
My Lord.
Now we got crime and violence in our own communities where everybody want to deflect to black-on-black crime. What we gonna do about black-on-black crime? Well, that's our duty to handle black-on-black crime. But what we gonna do about state-sponsored crime? What we gonna do about the bullets we paying tax dollars for killing our children? What we gonna do about that? What we gonna do about the bullets that we paying for penetrating these baby bodies? Going through one side and out the other. Baby didn't have a chance to live. So I want to remember all of the victims because we need to establish that Senatobia has a culture of state-sponsored terrorism. It's full of racist rot.
Let's stop it.
I'm tired.
Thank you, Pastor.
And I'm tired.
Thank you.
So we're going to deal with this sick pathology.
Yes, sir.
We're going to grab hold to each other in this community. We got to have some backbone. All you preachers who have a pulpit, get some backbone. Get some backbone. And go back into your community and raise your community. We're going to be organizing with you.
Thank you.
Dr. Trump, we're going to be organizing with you.
Thank you.
We putting our trust in you.
Yes, sir.
This community is tired and fed up. We putting our trust in you. I'm letting you know right now, I'm in it to the end. This community is in it.
So again, that was Brother Patric Alexander, and he again took to the microphone and he had to admonish the community there by saying, hey, and at first he had to apologize to baby Kohen, who again had his life taken, because he was like all of the people that he called up. Y'all remember I talked about Quintavious last week. He was 10 at the time, where he was arrested because his mother walked into a law office to handle some business. So he stayed in the car. He had to use the restroom. And he said he saw on the door, it said no public restroom. Again, he's 10. So he's thinking, okay, I can't use the restroom. He really have to go. So he alleviated himself outside. And as he was doing that, an officer pulled up, handcuffed him and called backup. Again, this little boy was 10 at the time. It was 2023 is when it happened. He was 10, called backup and put that 10-year-old in the back of a police car, drove him to the police station and locked him up to where his mother had to come get him. Now, she walked outside and saw all of that and said, hey, that's my child. What y'all doing? And it was like, oh, well, he broke the law, essentially, right? So that's just one of the things, as he said. 2 girls were jumped on by the police. I'm a black woman there, and I remember that story as well. She was waiting in a handicap stall, if you will, parking lot, waiting for a mother, and the police brutalized her and dragged her out of the car. So what Patric is saying is, hey, there's a pattern of racism here, and we know it. It is not a secret. But because, and I'm filling in the blanks, we sit idly by. Do we get mad? Yes, we're mad all day long. But I heard a quote a long time ago, that basically says, you can get mad, but getting mad without action is just you being mad. You're just raging all the time. But what are you going to do with that anger? So he is basically saying, hey, we can't keep hearing stories like this. Like God, a 1-year-old baby who has been here a year had his life taken by an officer who has been a problem in the community, that is attached to a police department that is a problem in the community. And as he also said, the police department there, they run all up and through the Black community, causing terror all day long. Okay. Now we're going to get to what we can do about it, but I just kind of wanted to preface what he said. Now he's part of the Black liberation movement there in Senatobia. I just want to give him credit to that. And also the mighty FOI, they showed up as well. I saw that he was having a conversation with them, and they're basically saying, hey, we're here in solidarity with you. Now, of course, we have talked about this before, and this is just a collage that I put together. Like I said, the collage could have been very large if I would have added everybody, but these are some of the things in our recent memory. Of course, you got Latasha Harlins. That happened in 1991. When we heard about what happened to her, yes, there was a riot that took place due to Rodney King, right? The year later, he was brutalized horribly by the police. In fact, it was one of the times in modern day history that we have seen anything like that, because anytime, especially then or before then, right, that the police did something to somebody, well, no, he didn't. My life was in danger, right? There was a copious amounts of reports of people being brutalized, but the police, and they still to this day, right, they get away with it. They got away with it because there was no evidence. Now, of course, y'all know that I believe it was a white man who happened to see all of that on his balcony as it was unfolding, and he took his big giant camcorder. Y'all remember those? And he filmed the whole thing, and he released the tape to news stations and things like that. Now, that's how that came about, and it was also validation for a lot of people who had been brutalized by the police, especially in LA, right? That we told you this goes on. Now, of course, we live in a day and age of cell phone cameras and Big Brother, and now we got body cams, which is why they're saying, hey, release the body cam footage so we can verify that you were in danger, Mr. Officer, okay? Of course, we got Trayvon Martin. George Zimmerman, it sounds like he's still he's still with us, okay? But y'all know what he did to him in 2012. He took his life, and that's how we learned about Benjamin Crump, right? That's how he got on the scene. Well, he was been on the scene, but he became internationally known with Trayvon Martin's case. Yeah, y'all know his story. George Zimmerman decided to be a vigilante and take his life, and He got away with it, right? He was saying he was scared for his life, even though he left from his front porch and not minding his business. Okay, got away with it. We were all upset. I remember the day that the verdict came out. Everybody was glued to the television, waiting to see what happened. When they said not guilty, it was just like the whole house just fell down on me, right? When I watched it, I'm sure everybody else felt the same thing, but nothing really, changed. We heard Obama say, well, if I had a son, he'd be black and, he'd be like Trayvon Martin type thing. That was what we got from Obama. Of course, George Floyd had a knee to his neck. Yes, Derek Chauvin is doing a 22-year sentence in a federal sentence and a state sentence. He probably never will get out no time soon. But that's when we were really all upset, right? The whole country. People all over the world, right? Because a lot of people had never seen anything like that. We've heard even that, Rodney King was very brutal, but to actually see a black man in broad daylight being lynched, okay, in front of everybody, and a police officer with his hands in his pocket, full well knowing, yeah, I can hear him saying, mama, or you're, unaliving me, but he didn't care. We all saw it. And again, we got up in arms, even the congressional caucus or whatever it was, they were performative. Then we went back to normal. Did we not? I mean, come on, we got to own this. We have to own this as Black folks here in America. We got to own our complacency and just, a shoulder shrug about a lot of things. Once the excitement, and I hate to say it worded that way, but once the excitement is gone, then of course, we got Cyrus Belton there in the back, and that's why we are on this Asian business boycott, buying back into our own businesses, because we know Rick Child got away with it. He said he was scared for his life, even though he chased this little boy down the street 133 yards away from the store, taking his very life by shooting him in his back. And he was handed a not guilty sentence, and he is now free to roam around the country. He was also a problem in the community. It was not a secret. You had all these stories come out about Rick Child did this, Rick Child did that. He actually pew-pewed at two people. It sounds like he hit one person. I showed y'all a small snippet a while back where he actually physically jumped on and beat up a black teenage girl in his store while he had a weapon on his hip and a baton in one hand. He's moving like product. I mean, that's how bad he was brutalizing this girl, and she's telling him to stop, and everybody's telling him to stop, and he's like, no, I'm gonna, do what I want to do to her. But he remained open. He was allowed to stay open, and Black folks walked back into his store and gave him money after hearing these stories of him brutalizing people in the community, right? So to Patric's point, yes, we owe baby Kohen an apology, not just there in Mississippi, but all over, because this is not a story that's new. This story happens all the time, but we are very complacent. And then I like to add Carmelo Anthony, and he's got a dream team, defense team now that's going to help him with the appeal process. So we are hoping, that is successful. And these people sound like they ain't no joke either, right? And they're doing it pro bono, for what I understand. But see, we've allowed white supremacy, and let's just keep it a buck, to think that they can continue to play with us. They can continue to lock our children up. We get mad. And not even just our children, but our men and our women. Any prison here in the United States disproportionately has Black inmates. More than anybody. I say disproportionately because, yes, we're 13%, but we make up a large amount of prison inmates in these prisons. And a lot of that probably could have been a slap on the wrist, or there's a lot of people not guilty, and a whole host of things. We've heard about this very system sending our people to electric chairs. And I'm saying that just because I can't say the other thing, even though evidence said that they didn't do it. You have some Klan governor somewhere who heard all of the evidence and decided, well, I don't want to make because usually with somebody white that they were accused of, I don't want to make that family mad. That family is bent on that it was that person. So I'm not going to give them a stay of execution. I'm just going to let it go. Is he probably guilty? I don't know, he might be. But you know, in the back of his mind, he's thinking, what these black folks gonna do? If I pull a switch on every last one of them and they innocent, what are they gonna do? Because let's keep it a buck. We've been complacent. We have been very apathetic when it comes to anti-blackness, racism, whatever it is. We've been very apathetic, which means, I know it's an issue, but I'm not really going to do nothing. I want to, but I want somebody else to do it. I want somebody else to do the job that I should be doing. Now, listen, I'm not saying we should get out there and do some things that will have us add to the prison population per se, but there's a lot of things we could do. And this boycott, this blackout, right? The wealth transfer is like the number one thing that we as Black folks here in America can do. Because we know that if we stop spending for a week, a lot of retailers would feel the pinch because let's keep it a buck. We give a lot of money to them. We buying this, Louis, Gucci, all the labels and things that we want, not necessarily the things that we need. It was shut down. And in a year, oh God, the rest of the United States will be like, okay, Black people, we know we haven't been kind to you, but what is it that you want us to do if we would just do that, okay? But moving right along, he talked about the Black church. I sigh because I'm trying to figure out how to say this. I will say that we are starting to see some in the Black church come forward, like Jamal Bryant. He gets his tailbone kicked in a lot, but he is doing some things like he's building affordable housing, sounds like near the church. He's giving back. And he also spoke up about the Asian business boycott, especially when that one video that the dude deleted that was going around talking about, oh, Blacks ain't gonna do this and Blacks ain't gonna do that. And so Jamal Bryant was like, oh yeah, you want to test that theory, right? So I say shout out to him for bringing awareness to that. But let's keep it a buck. The Black church has been keeping the Black community, rocked to sleep. They're there, baby. Don't worry. All you got to do is pray. And I'm not saying you shouldn't pray. I pray all the time. In fact, I prayed before I came on here, okay? But all you got to do is just pray, have faith, and just wait. Don't worry. Shh. Don't, no, be quiet. And what do? Okay. And we let them tuck us in real tight and snug. And then we are comfortable because we are disillusioned that all we got to do is just wait. Just pray that Massa's going to treat us kind. Just pray that all of our worries are going to... That's not how that works. You pray, but then you do something about it. Faith without the works is unalived, okay? Now, I know I don't say that in the Bible, unalive, but you get the point. Faith without the works is unalive. That means that, okay, great, you have faith. Now get to stepping. Get to doing something. That's what it means. It don't mean that we gonna get together, hold hands after one of these race soldiers took the life of our people. We gonna pray, oh Lord, we just ask that you just show them some forgiveness and just lighten the burden. No, we lighten the burden by letting them know you're not gonna keep taking the lives of our people. Like, listen, just think about it. That brother said that those officers run roughshod all through the community, doing any and everything they want to do, holding the Black community in Senatobia hostage with terror. And I understand his passion. Like, at what point do we say enough? Like, why y'all keep going up in that Walmart and y'all know that they do Black folks dirty, including taking the life or being complicit, right? And I'm saying allegedly for legal reasons, but complicit in taking the life of a 1-year-old over a box of diapers. As many have said, his little life to Walmart and to the police was not worth more than a box of diapers. As Ben Crump said, Cyrus Carmack Belton's life was not worth more than a bottle of water. Think about it. I'm not saying we think that, but the people who have done those things to them, they think that, and we co-sign it by just being complacent. Getting rocked back to sleep. So with the Black church, yeah, you think about it. I always say, and I know Brother Phil talks about it too, the Democratic Party and the Black church are like this. Because if you go to a Black church, and there's probably some that will say, hey, this is what we need to do while we have your attention. Stop spending 97% of what you earn with everybody else. And then you come up in here and get on your knees and then beg Jesus to pay your light bill when you giving all your money away to people who don't like you. See, if we had pastors like that, and I'm not talking about the Nation of Islam because we know they about that life. Okay, I'm talking about the church. See, if we have pastors like that, then we'd be better off. But see, they got to have you go into a lot of those churches and feel deflated, feel defeated. So you'll go in there and get on your knees and pray for a solution that you already have the answer to. They know that their buckets will not fill up if you don't sow a seed of faith. Sister, I know you're struggling. Listen, I know you can't pay your light bill, but the good Lord, and I want to know where the good Lord would ask anybody to not pay their light bill to sow a seed of faith. But if you just go ahead and do it, and God will provide. And if the lights don't get paid, do you got some candles? I mean, I'm just saying, right? And also the church getting in all of that money, say billions, hundreds of billions since the 80s, getting all of that money in the community looks the way it does. I kid you not. Go to any Black community. Okay. And you will notice that the church is the nicest building in the community. And it's not often one, it's 2, 3, 4 churches on one boulevard or one block. So y'all getting all that money and the community is struggling. Infrastructural wise, I know that's a city thing, but damn, y'all getting all that money. You can't get to pave a sidewalk or something. I don't know. The people that lives in that community, they often walking. They catching a bus or they're going home to a house that's dilapidated and a whole host of other things. But you have them come into your church and give them this false idea of you need to give all of the last of what you don't already have to the church to become a good person. See, we also know that the church and the work of the people should be outside of the church. You go in there, you worship in the church, but the work is done on the outside. Because most people who go to church, you feel good for that 13 hours that you're in a Black church. And then once you leave, you feel good and then you feel okay. And then, oh gosh, I'm back to being hopeless. Because you didn't get no real solutions when you was at church. You got hope, which is great. But the pastor didn't tell you, hey, this is how we are going to uplift our community. He says, this is how you can uplift me, though, right? That's a different conversation. Now, of course, we know that we have done this before. This what? A boycott. Recently, a lot of Black folks, I wasn't part of it, boycotted Target. 1 year, it cost Target, that boycott, $12 billion. $12 billion. Now, they had some conversations, but it doesn't sound like Target really, brought back DEI and fulfilled any of the things that they said they were going to do. But they at least said, hey, Jamal Bryant, because he did the 40-day fast, right? We boycotted Target. And he finally said, we're not going to do it anymore for whatever reason. Then Nina Turner and Tamika Mowry, they were upset. They're like, we're still boycotting. Now, I didn't boycott because, like I said, I'm not going to help white women get more of what they already got. That was a DEI thing, okay? And we also saw it being done. Well, we weren't here, okay? I'm only 55, but in 1955, the Montgomery bus boycott, it cost the bus companies tens of thousands of dollars a day. Y'all do the math. That's what it said anyway. Y'all do the math on what that would be today. That's a lot of money. And then finally, the bus companies, the white ones said, okay, y'all can sit where you want. You don't have to go to the back of the bus or stand up if Miss Ann gets on the bus. And so I say that to say, if we can boycott, it just is what it is, okay? To help white women, because again, she's the biggest beneficiary of DEI. If we can boycott and cost Target $12 billion in loss to help white women, if we could boycott, we meaning our ancestors, right? The bus system there in Alabama, because white folks made us stand up or go to the back of the bus. Can we not boycott, blackout, whatever y'all want to call it, wealth transfer, when the lives of Black people are taken unjustly? Are we not worth more than anything? Just one Black life. Is one Black life not worth more than what's in Target? Or a bus ride, when we already back then had Black bus companies that went belly up because we were so wanting to sit next to them folks, which we learned not too long ago that they don't take baths every day, right? We wanted to sit next to them. So can we not boycott for our own very lives, for the life of Cyrus, for the life of baby Kohen, and all the other lives that have been taken or locked away forever and ever and ever, or on a live roll? Can we not boycott for that? Now I want to show y'all something. I put this up before. It's from the Quran. It says, indeed, Allah will not change the condition of a people until they change what's in themselves. Okay. So Allah is basically saying, as I said, like the whole faith without the worst thing, Allah can do anything, right? Allah, God, He can do anything. But some of that is on y'all. Y'all got something to do too, right? So we got to change what's in ourselves. And I would ascertain this, especially what I'm talking about today, is we got to change our self-esteem as a people. We got to believe that we are worth more than a box of diapers, worth more than a water bottle, worth more than a carton of orange juice, because that's what Latasha, took one for, a carton of orange juice. And that lady got away with it as well. She was found guilty, but she was too something, I don't know, to do the time. So she was set free. But I don't necessarily care how other people see us. I care how we see us. See, because when we raise our self-esteem, when you raise your self-esteem, you get some knowledge of self, some love for self and your people, then you say, hey, hold on. I'm not participating in the oppression of my people, whether it's I'm giving them somebody money, whether, I'm voting for them. I'm not going to do that no more. In fact, I'm going to take the money and I'm going to pour it back into my own community, which is why Nuri Muhammad said, and this is where I got it from, boycott. Okay? Because we're good at boycotting. We're good at boycotting our own community, which is why we give 97% of nearly $2 trillion spending power away to everybody else. We boycott ourselves, whether it's, they didn't give me some napkins. Oh, they forgot my hot sauce. Oh, did you know what they did up in this Black business? Okay. We're good at doing that. Get all up on the internet. Well, don't go there because they ain't. But Asians could whoop your behind, hit you over the head with broomsticks, choke you out. White people could take your life, and anybody else who want to do something to you, you just, take my money. Oh, I just want to shop there. And it's like, even after they did that to your brother or sister, well, I'm just going to go in there real quick, whatever. So where do we need to be putting this money once we keep it, right? Well, Dr. Claude Anderson told us, okay, I'm going to be very repetitive here, okay? I'm rarely going to switch up things. Even though I talk about different things, it's always going to come back to what we need to be doing, the solution, okay? Now, this is from Dr. Claude Anderson. He called it a group economics, a 5-story building. I'm paraphrasing, but basically, we got to get our money together. That's the economics, right? Once we get our money together, we say, okay, Black folks, let's stop giving all of our money away to everybody else and then whining and crying and begging, because that's what it makes us. When we give almost all of our money away, it makes us beggars. Oh, please, Mr. Politician, can you do something for us? And I'm not saying they shouldn't, but this will make it a lot easier, I promise you, okay? Or whether you're going to the church, well, I just need to pay my life fund. Well, sister so-and-so, the benevolence fund is kind of low. You got to come back next month, okay? While the pastor got all his chandeliers on up in the house. So anyway, so we keep all of our money, and then we can influence politics, because Black folks, we not begging no more, right? We're not on our knees saying, I need somebody to help me. I need this, I need that. Listen, I ain't saying we don't need our reparations. We getting that, okay? But I'm saying the money we have right now. And the politicians start saying, oh gosh, well, Black folks, they're becoming independent. They don't need us anymore. We can't dupe them with a fish fry and some twerking And you know what I'm gonna do is, and all the kente cloth, we can't dupe them no more because they got their money going on, and they're able to feed themselves, house themselves, clothe themselves, educate them. They're able to do all these things. So the politicians start to say, "How can we help you? Oh, you need a hate crime bill? That's no problem. We know that you're the number one targeted group of people here in the United States. We'll get that going right away. Give us a week. Yes. Okay. Reparations. Oh gosh, what's taking us so long? We should have been done that. I know we're not. No. We're not talking about the study. We're actually talking. See what I'm saying? Then they start coming to the table. Then, of course, the injustice system, that's what I like to call it. They say, well, we can't really lock their babies up. We can't get a little boys 35 years for defending themselves. We can't do that because we know that the Black community is not going to have it. See, think about the Asian community. They get set free and all kind of things because these things here, the injustice system, they know the Asians will organize. Whether they people are wrong, I mean, listen to them now. Well, that's not right. Y'all punishing everybody. It's like, no, this is a long time coming. Don't take it personally. We're not putting our money back into our own community, please and thank you, right? So the injustice system says, well, we're not going to be able to do that because they're not going to let us get away with it. In fact, the Black community also knows that a lot of these positions, the judges and things like that, they are elected. And so they might look in, well, not might, they're going to look into my record as a judge, the prosecutor, right? The DA and all, they're going to look into our record and they're going to say, oh no, we're not going to vote for them because they have a very high rate of prosecuting Black folks and giving them unjust sentences and letting these white people go away and do it. So they know, right? Once we start doing this 5 building thing, and of course, media, hello, that's us, Black media. But right now, we own less than 3% of the media. We being collective of Black folks, less than 3% is probably less than that now. I don't know if you count the channels on YouTube and the apps, which is why it's important that if you don't have our app, please go to your Google, your Apple Play Store to download that African Diaspora News Channel app. But investing in Black-owned media is important because you're not going to get these conversations nowhere, okay? In fact, I don't know if y'all been watching the news. I saw ABC is in danger. Sounds like the FCC is mad at them for something. I didn't delve off into it, but they're in danger of having their signals moved and potentially shut down. And they're asking the public. Now, listen, this is A, B, and C. They're asking the public to write the FCC and say, this, don't do that to them. It's wrong. Keep them on the air. They said for 70 years, right? They've been on the airways and they're in danger. This is a white-owned news station, okay? So if they're doing that to them, what you think they might do to us? Which is why we got to get our little coins together and support Black-owned media anywhere you can, okay? Just want to say that. And then lastly, education. Y'all know I'm very passionate about that because they say our babies can't read. They say our babies can't read, y'all. And I also say they parents can't read either. That's a problem. But also in this miseducation system here in America, they ain't going to teach your Black babies what they need to know. And I don't expect them to. See, we got to move our mindset of being one of the only groups of people here in the United States that cry and whine and let these no good politicians tell us that we should be upset that the school system here in America won't teach your baby this, that, the other about Black, this, Black, that, African American, this. I don't give a damn. You know why? Because I don't want you to teach my child nothing that I should be teaching them because you're not going to teach them right. So after we've done all this, got our money together, we can make our own schools. We can have our own teachers show up when they're all their Blackness, not have to apologize and not, saying, well, I would love to talk about this, but I can't because I'm going to lose my job. See, we talk about what we want to talk about in our school. We talk about Nat Turner and we talk about all of them, all the revolutions and all the things we need to talk about. We can talk about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We can talk about the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. We can talk about Marcus Garvey and everybody else we want to talk about without the school saying, well, you can't talk about that because that's, it make white people feel bad. See, when we in our own school, we're not going to see them there. Okay. That's why we need to separate. That's a different conversation. Don't get me started. But I want to say this to y'all, and I'm not telling you to do it. I'm just telling you what I'm going to do before I jump in the comment section. I'm going to start at the bottom. I, along with my daughter, have decided to not go into Walmart anymore. And that's going to be hard for me. I'm be honest with you. Okay, I'm a creature of habit too. Don't think because I sit up here that I'm about that life and I didn't. Nah, it's going to be hard for me too. Okay, it's been since last week or maybe before that I've gone. And I'm making a commitment to myself and to my community and to the life of Kohen Wiley to not go into Walmart, because you cannot keep calling the police on people, and having their lives taken over diapers, which doesn't even sound like they stole. Sounds like they had a receipt for it. Okay. I'm just telling you what I'm not going to do now. In all transparency, I do have a Sam's Club card that, renewed some time ago, but I will not renew it. I will not renew my Sam's Club card. I'm more than likely probably get some gas or something there, but I'm just telling you that because I don't want to be a liar. But me personally, I'm not going back into Walmart because they do not like us much. Do they hire a lot of Black people? Yes. But see, if we continue on with this boycott, we start buying our own businesses and things like that, and we hire our own people. We don't have to bow down to a corporation that thinks it's okay. And to this point, they won't release the cameras either. Because, Walmart thinks they got cameras all over. They won't release them either. Why won't you release the cameras of what happened to baby Kohen? Are you complicit? Are you in lockstep with the police department there? Release the cameras so that we can all know what happened to that baby and if it was just or unjust. So I'm just telling you what I'm going to do. It's going to be hard, but I'm going to do it. Anyway, going to the bottom. Got 20 minutes here. Let's see. And thank y'all for bearing with me. But for real, y'all, like we really got to stop being complicit and complacent in what is done to our people in this country. We have to. Because every time you're silent or you say, oh, that show is a shame. That show is sad what they did to them. And you don't do anything about it. And I'm not saying go out and burn stuff. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm saying keep your money in your pocket. Keep your money in your pocket. Now, I'm a minimalist. For those of y'all who don't know what that is, a minimalist means that you buy what you need and some of what you want. Some. Save the rest, okay? Now, if you need to really get into it, there's a great documentary on Netflix called Minimalism. I've been telling everybody about it for a long time. Minimalism. And you will see how to do it. And then you'll also realize, well, damn, I just be spending money on stuff I don't need. So, anyway, I'm going to start right here. Malicious, how you doing? Says that's the thing, they want to be all in our grills about what we do, but when it comes to them they're about deflection, projection rather, they are never accountable for their horrific evils. Oh, listen, where's my books? I actually cleaned my desk up today, believe it or not. They already gonna be held accountable. They know that. America, Babylon is falling. You cannot do what you have done, especially to us, and think that you're going to get away with it. That's not how that works. Because again, those same people who have done those things to us also have the nerve to crack open the Bible and talk about the Lord said. Well, you ain't reading the whole Bible because you got to get what you put out. So they're not going to escape that. Oh, no, they're not. It's a great book, too, by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, The Fall of America. Let's see. Born Nami, how you doing? Says not only Black kids. Yeah, I mean, it's not just Black kids, but I'm a Black American woman. Is it all right if I talk about Black Americans? Is that all right with you? Because see, I'm not all about that all lives matter. Do I believe all lives matter? Absolutely, I believe they all matter, but I'm talking about Black lives because they have not mattered, not to this horrible system of America, and it has not mattered much to us either, if you don't mind. Nathaniel, what's going on? Says many are called, but a few are chosen to create the real change our people need. That is, is it just a few? Because then that means that we kicking butt backwards. If it's just a few to help change our people, because you can't change. If Allah will not change the condition of a people until the people change their own condition, what power does the few have? So I would think that is probably more. We all have the ability to do it. Again, we think kind of too large, if that makes any sense, when we need to do things. No, as I always say, start at home. Talk to your children and your wives and your husbands or your aunties, your whoever about group economics. Talk to them about, hey, this is why with my daughter, we're not going into Walmart. Because that baby life should have to matter. If it don't matter to us, it ain't going to matter to nobody else, right? So I think we all have the ability to change, evolve. I don't know, most of us anyway. Our Negroes, what's going on with you? Long time no see. You said shop with Black retailers online. Yeah, you can do that. And a lot of y'all ask me, what do you do to your hair? What have you been putting in your hair? Right? I was using this other stuff. It was for Black hair, but it wasn't Black owned. And I actually ran out. Now I'm using Baskin Lather. That is a Black owned hair gel. I was concerned at first because when I first put it on, I was like, ooh, hair was popping up. But it's pretty good now. So Baskin Leather, their edge control, it's pretty good. So it's Black owned. And I, went online and I bought it. Tammy, how you doing? Says my kids go to public school, but I still teach them at home as if I was homeschooling. I consider the school as backup, not their primary education. I made their reading and education my responsibility. I love it. My hat's off to you if I had one on. Because that's the way it's supposed to be. Stop sending your children to school expecting them to, well, don't y'all supposed to teach them something? No, you're supposed to teach them. And that's just, like you said, it's an addition. It's enhancement. But you should eat, like, how do you know your child can't read until you get to their 8th grade parent-teacher conference where you know Johnny can't read? How do you not know your child can't read? It's because you don't read. You can't read. You don't read to them. They don't see you read. Karen, how you doing? Say, yeah, that's why I don't shop at Walmart. Most definitely. Kathleen, what's going on? Says, I don't go to Walmart, but I do support their deliveries. Yeah, whatever it is. I'm just saying what I'm not going to do. I'm not telling anybody not to do it, but there's a lot of people who need a wake-up call from Black folks, especially. But yeah, I Negroes, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, once my subscription to Sam's Club, because they're Walmart, right, expires, I'm going to go to Costco because I do go get some things in bulk. Tradina, what's going on with you? Hope you're doing well. Warriors, what's going on? It says, right, Demetra, a John called Philly. Where you been? How you doing? It says, if Demetra is the reason you went to, okay. Demetra is the reason you went to Trump. You are already a Trump supporter. You just need a justification. So you're probably talking to somebody else. Okay, yeah. Nobody, I never told nobody to go to Trump. And whoever said I said somebody to go to Trump, you're a bald head lie. I ain't never told you to go to Trump. You will not find a video, a post, nowhere me telling you to go to Trump. And as somebody says, you said if you went to Trump because you thought I was going to Trump, stick yourself. Because don't vote how I vote. Not that I voted for Trump, but don't vote how I vote. Vote how you vote. What's in your best interest? But if you are silly enough to let somebody else influence you to go do something and it wasn't what you wanted to do, don't blame me. Now, I'm not a fan of the Democrats. And now we can have that conversation all day long. Although I used to be a Democrat. I've been a Democrat longer than I've not been a Democrat. Just being fully transparent. But at the end of the day, I'm just giving you information. Perry, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. It's private. What's going on? It says time to invest in self and build our individual accounts as well. So every situation doesn't automatically require a GoFundMe. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. I could literally be on here for 30 hours talking about that. But I won't because I don't have that kind of time. But I will say to y'all this. I used to sell life insurance. I do not sell it anymore because it was feast or famine. But I know for a fact that most people have been told to get you a life insurance policy. Get your life insurance policy. You can insure the babies after they're 10 days old. You can insure a baby. Premium will stay that amount. This, that, and the other. Get you some. That's a bill. I'm not going to get no life insurance. Why? So they can, when somebody die, then they ain't going to pay the thing. And I kid you not. I've had people send me a link to GoFundMe. So I'm supposed to fund your funeral? I'm supposed to send you some money to bury your mama or whoever it is, when you have somebody ask you about life insurance and you got snarky, you got indignant, and now you want me to dig it? I will. I used to, but not no more. I used to ask how many car washes do you need to pay for a funeral? The answer is it may take a long time. Because you see people having car washes and bake sales and fish fries. And now GoFundMe is the new fish fry, the bake sale. But I'm just telling you what I won't do. Do not send me a GoFundMe because I know that you had an opportunity to get life insurance and you did not. So you burdened your family and you also robbed your generations and the people that are left here of generational wealth, because that's how you build generational wealth. Like, I will be honest with you, Black Americans, we are the most insured, believe it or not, but we're the most underinsured. And a lot of that is out of racism, but I can't get into it here because I don't have a lot of time. Jessica, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Rasha, I hope I said the right. How you doing? Says, I thought Walmart released the footage. Maybe they did now. As of yesterday, they didn't. So maybe they did, this morning or something like that. But as of the press conference, they had not. So hopefully they did. But even still, nation within a nation, how you doing? Says, not doing Walmart is easy. It's getting easier. You know what I mean? Like, I could go, I like to go get a lot of water from Walmart, but I could go get it from other stores. So that's usually what I go to Walmart for, a water haul. So yeah, facts not feelings. How you doing? Says, I replaced Walmart with Temu years ago. Well, kind of if you're doing the Asian business boycott rather. But I get it. I not a Temu person, but I get it. Whatever works. Pop, I'm just not. But how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Edward, what's going on with you? Says there's no justice for taking the life of a 1-year-old baby. There is no justice, but we need to make sure that they don't take the life of another 1-year-old baby or a 99-year-old lady. Right? Tradina, what's going on? It says, yes, teach your children how to pray. It says Psalms 91 and Matthew 6:9-13, the Lord's Prayer. Absolutely. Ali, how you doing? It says, if this was the Asian, is this what the Asian have been taken care of? Also, I think you're saying if the Asian have been taken care of in a LA riots, we would have solved the problem now. Thank you for sharing. Absolutely. Would have. But here we are. Scoop says we got to stop making excuses of why we can't do this and why we can't do that. Yep, no excuses. Totally agree with you. Let's see. Brother Damon in the building. How you doing? So young, what's going on? Says I literally been going towards minimalism. I'm having a hard time. Thank you. It's hard, but it's a habit. You got to build a habit. I promise y'all, you could go on YouTube and learn about minimalism. But that Netflix has a really good, it's not that long documentary, Minimalism. It will change your life. We all need to become minimalists because we as a society, we weren't minimalists. I mean, we weren't maximalists, if you will. It became that way. The corporations, this was all by design. They got with a public relations specialist, Edward L. Bernays, who was the nephew of Sigmund Freud, and they did a mind trick, if you will, on consumers. Oh, you need that because this celebrity has that. Now, mind you, this was like the early 1900s, and people ain't had no money like that, but they decided, well, you're right, I do need that fur coat to walk around in this shotgun house. So yeah, big word, what's going on with you? Says, so glad Demetra and Donovan both. If I supported Trump, what you gonna do about it? You're not gonna do nothing. If I supported Trump, you ain't gonna do nothing. Big old crybaby. What you gonna do about it? I can support who I want. If I want to go outside and support a rock that was sitting in the middle of my yard, what you gonna do about it? See, y'all always want to run down on Black folks for doing what they want to do. If I did do that, I didn't say that I did, but if I did, you want to run down on me, but you letting white folks kick your tailbone in all day long. You letting the po-po take the lives of your children, and Kohen belong to all of us, and you mad at me? I hope you ain't a man, because that's really going to make me mad. Well, I'm going to be quiet because I was going to say something that's going to get me in trouble about, the Mojave Desert and your wife sitting up there whining like that. Anyway, I got 6 minutes left. McQueen was going on, says they can't do what they did to our people in the past. They see we fight and talk back, and our strength is mightier than theirs. Yeah, we gotta. The strength is mighty, but we gotta make the dollar mightier. They know how mighty the black dollar is. That's why they be all up in our communities, setting up all those shops, because they know we give our money away freely without even asking no questions. We just here, take my money. So yeah, Frankie, how you doing? Says, I believe everyone should be held accountable for that 1-year-old, the mother, the friend, the Walmart, and the police. Why should the mother and the friend be held accountable if they weren't stealing? And even if they were stealing, do you think diapers is worth more than the life of a baby? What are you saying? Do you hear the foolishness that you're saying? Like, think about it. You want to blame the mama for the police shooting her child? What's wrong with you? I need you to look in the mirror when you get off of here. Go look in the mirror and say, what's wrong with you? Why would you say something like that? That's horrible. And it doesn't have any basis or any, like, it's not logical. I saw it somewhere on Fox News or something, and I'm going to repeat it. So do that for me. Fair use, did I say hi to you? If not, hello. He says, causing their children to pass through the fire Yuletide long. Pink Blue, what's going on with you? Says, your children each day read to you and out loud. Stick to the program. You'll be amazed in a year how well they are reading. Do it each day. Praise their reading each day. Yeah, and have them do book reports and oral presentations. Oh, in this book, it said Johnny and Sally, right? And that helps them to communicate as well, to articulate what they comprehended, or if they're even comprehending at all. And that way you can kind of help them through that. But like I said, don't get me started on this thing about kids can't read. It's like, when last time you seen adults read? It's crazy. Lady J was going on, said, why was the why was the girl backing out toward the officer? Okay. Was you there? Were you there? Are you repeating? Are you a parrot? Are you repeating like a parrot would things that you have no knowledge of? Because many people said, yeah, while she was backing out, she was not running toward the officer. So what do you need to look in the mirror too. Brother Walker, how you doing? Says, we as Black people are the true people of the Bible and are now going through curses, as mentioned in Deuteronomy 28 chapter. Says the only true answer besides fight the system is come back to God's law. That too, because God is devoid in all of most of our lives. We don't reverence God like we should and like we used to, right? We might say Jesus wept and then walk out the door, but we need a little bit more than that. Okay. Street Nasty, what's going on with you? Hope you're doing well. Gusto, how you doing? Says Black Americans do not learn from our lessons that those non-FBA ethnic groups of people do not like us. How do you justify killing a 1-year-old child? How? So that we could be here all day, I promise you. But it's a great question. It really is. And the answer should be you can't. You shouldn't anyway. How you doing, John? I'm not going to read your comment. I don't have the time. I don't have the time or the bandwidth. Derry, how you doing? Well, I love you too. Reggie, what's going on? You say, Reggie, rather. He says, they only do that crazy stuff in southern states. Walmart, when do that? They wouldn't do that in Chicago, Detroit, Philadelphia. Oh, yes, they would. They do it in California too. They would. They would. All of the United States is anti-Black. But probably more so on the South, because, yeah, I mean, the good old boys is everywhere. I don't know what you believe, but the good old boys are everywhere. You know, the ones that like to wear the pointy hoods and things like that. Hey, Buckhorse, how you doing? Blood Cupid, what's going on? He says, you ain't messing with Temu. Yeah, me either. I'm not going to read this name, but he says, Walmart has no guilt or shame about what happens on this property. Well, yeah, especially when they believe and know that people are going to go back up in there. But they should be held accountable too. Your employees are calling the police on people. and things like that. So yeah, I'm gonna get out of here, y'all. Anybody who may have donated and I didn't see your donation, thank you so much. I love and appreciate you for that. And I love and appreciate every last one of y'all for being here. Thank you, Ali. I appreciate that for being here, spending this moment with me. But check out everybody else's stuff as well, as we work so very hard to bring you the news that you can use with some of y'all anyway. But some of y'all need to look in the mirror and do some self-reflection of why am I such a horrible person that I would think that a 1-year-old deserved what happened to him due to something his mother or her friend would have done over a box of diapers. Honestly, look in the mirror and ask yourself why. And don't respond, because I talk to myself sometimes too, but don't respond. Just wait for the answer as to why you're a horrible person, and then try to rearrange your understanding, because the rub is it could be you next. Peace.